The leaks are now irrelevant, people, because The Last of Us Part 2 is out there for all to see, even though the release date is tomorrow. And I would have actually have put this video out sometime next week to allow people the chance to just play it and also give a little bit of breathing space. But because of what Sony, Naughty Dog, Muso conspired to do with my channel, screw them. Screw them all. Let's see about those leaks. And also, why is a certain lead dev really defensive? Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. So I put together all the footage for The Last of Us Part 2 and... Looks like Muso are back up to their old tricks again. Look, The Last of Us Part 2 is eventually going to be released tomorrow. But that's irrelevant for people like me because I ain't going to be purchasing it. Not after the treatment by Sony, Naughty Dog and Muso as regards to my channel and trying to end my career, trying to end my livelihood, trying to take my money away from me, leaving me jobless because of Kneel Cuckman's silly little revenge story. Now this video is going to be broken up into two parts. The first part is going to be spoiler free, so if you want to stick around for that, great stuff. I will give plenty of notice when we're going to go into spoilers because never mind the leaks, the footage is out. Even though the game doesn't release till tomorrow, the footage is out of all the story bits, so we know exactly what happens now. So in the second part of the video, I'll be doing a comparison between the leaks and what is actually correct and what needed to be clarified, because there were a couple of grey areas that we needed clearing up. But the first part is actually going to deal with Kneel Cuckman and his very defensive nature at the moment as regards to the game. And it's also going to be an indictment on Shill Media as well. So with that said, if you want to stick around for the first part, please feel free. I will give you plenty of notice if you want to step out when the spoilers are going to come in. So it's regards to this article here. Now, I had to use this article because I'm actually blocked by Schreier because he's a snowflake. I have no love for either of these people, no dog in this fight. So I'm just going to call it straight down the line how I sees it. But the website itself paints a very biased picture. And they lead with the heading of Naughty Dog's Kneel Cuckman calls out journalist Jason Schreier for Anne Frank joke. Aren't they both Jewish? Aren't they both? So that would be... Anyway, but this is not how this actually transpires. There's a lot of nuance that goes before that. But it doesn't matter, of course. It's about defending Sony and Naughty Dog. What a surprise. Now, I won't say the name of the YouTuber because they don't want to be used as an example, but in a recent video, I had to use a YouTuber's critical video review of The Last of Us Part 2 as an example. Why? Because they themselves are a respected reviewer, and everything else that we had was 10 out of 10, stunning and brave, 5 out of 5, stunning and brave, with nothing against the game whatsoever, whereas some very critical videos were starting to come out. Now, that person actually got annoyed that people were using his video as an example, but the fact of the matter is, he was a trustworthy person. And we're in an age now where Shill Media isn't trustworthy. Now, I don't personally believe that money exchanged hands, in as much as Sony were paying off review sites in lieu of good scores. But there's certainly a bought and paid for element to this, because these sites were clearly pandering to Sony and Naughty Dog because they were fearful, particularly on the Sony side, that they would lose their access, that they would lose their privilege. Their relationship is so skewed now between sites which should be servicing the customer, but they're not. They're servicing themselves. They want their free review copies. They want their trips out to these studios. They want their interviews. They want their little gifts and trinkets, which they also get sent through on regular basis from these companies. And so they don't service the customer anymore. And so the customer, because the customer isn't stupid, goes and sources what they hope to be objective information elsewhere. So anywho, this all starts with a tweet from Jeff Cannata. Not Maz Cannata's son, I'm reliably informed. But this in itself is interesting because they have now deleted this tweet. And if you believe in your review, if you believe in what you're saying about a video game, why would you delete it? Well, as he might have deleted it because it got a lot of attention. Well, that's their job as a reviewer, is it not? As somebody that was given a copy to review to come out early, it's their job to give their opinion, objective opinion, about what the game actually was all about. And so it doesn't make any sense that if they got some attention because of it, they'd be like, oh no. Maybe, just maybe, when we read it, you'll understand why they might have deleted it. In a medium where everything is John Wick, it's a very broad generalization there, John, but okay. The Last of Us Part 2 is Schindler's List. Where is it? You what, mate? You... Every game is John Wick, but The Last of Us... Whoa, that is Schindler's List. It's a shitty revenge... And we'll get to it in the... Never mind. And just like that film, there were times when I wasn't sure I could keep going. It was a relentless, emotional assault that I suspected will force even the most jaded gamer to feel empathy. Well, if you take the word empathy out and insert the word apathy, I think that's probably going to be more likely. And this kind of thing makes me laugh hysterically. Because there was a review, I believe, from GameSpot, where the reviewer, at the end, she said, I don't know if I even liked The Last of Us Part 2 when I finished it. 8 out of 10! I don't know if I even liked it. 8 out of 10. Ludicrous. Stupidity. So anyway, this is where Jason Schreier comes into the picture. And he says, hyperbole is fun and all, but if you're thinking about comparing the new zombie video game to a movie about the Holocaust, maybe hit the brakes. Then, like a flash of light, like a ray of sunshine through a murky day, oh, Kneel Cuckman inserts himself into the situation. Out of nowhere. I don't see Cuckman being atted in anywhere here, but So Cuckman says, to me, it is clear that Jeff is comparing an emotional response between two pieces of media, not subject matter or importance. I didn't take it as direct comparison between our games and Holocaust itself, but that is high praise, or even as a way to diminish the weight of that film. He then, because he can't shut the fuck up, goes on to say, your voice carries a lot of weight. He's referring to Schreier here. Your public comments about Jeff invite dogpiling. You're the only person who's mentioning dogpiling here, Neil. Which I'm sure wasn't your intention. but I experienced a lot of that these past few weeks and wanted to say something. Oh, you're the victim, Neil. Oh, hold on, I've got something for you here. It's a big bag of go fuck yourself. You're the victim. I'm sorry. Were you the person whose livelihood was being attacked, whose livelihood was being pulled down, whose earning potential was being taken away from them because they were receiving illegal copyright strikes from you and Sony using your attack dog Muso? Huh? Was it? No, it wasn't. No, you just put together a shitty little revenge story video game using beloved characters to push your own agenda and narrative. Gotcha. But you're the victim. You're the person who had their lives nearly ruined, their jobs taken away from them because of illegal copyright strikes. You seem to be awfully quiet there, Cuckman. FWIW, I think our game doesn't hold a candle to Schindler's List. From what I hear, I absolutely agree. So, for the next part, let's just jump to this here. This is the Jeff Cannata tweet, and this is somebody else responding to it. One of the all-time bad gaming takes. Print this out and bronze it. And then people start, including Schreier, making funny little asides. Wii Sports Resort is the Sophie's choice of sports games. See, BioShock's audio logs are a lot like the diaries of Anne Frank. Yes, because this by John Cannata, or Maz Cannata, whichever one you want, is a ridiculous tweet. Pathetic and laughable and deserves ridicule because of it. So, once again, Cuckman comes jumping in. With all due respect, I find these kinds of ironic jokes to be unproductive at best. Neil, here's something. Fuck you. Fuck you. You don't get to decide what other people can say. I know you're desperate to control the narrative, and it's absolutely killing you now that you've had your illegal attack dog rebuked and taken away. It's eating you up inside that you can't control the narrative anymore. People can say what they want. They can be as serious as they want. They can be as clinical as they want. They can be as stupid as they want. Your opinion is meaningless to how they choose to do that. You're not the boss of them. You're the boss that flogged your workers. You're the boss that caused the crunch. You have nothing to say. Shut up. We can do better with critical discourse. No, we can do exactly what we want with critical discourse. Funny, stupid, serious, clinical. We can do what the hell we want. Especially by those of us with thousands of followers, and especially about sensitive subject matter. Dude, there's nothing sensitive about your game. There's nothing sensitive about your game whatsoever by the sounds of it. You don't get to decide the rules of this. You don't have any opinion on this. Somebody, you can not give reviewers. I don't review games, so I don't need review copies or anything like that. Somebody's just like, you're just mad because you didn't get a review copy. I don't review games. I don't need this sort of business. But people, if you want to hold their review copy because they're not conforming to the narrative, and you also have to bear in mind, people, that the reviewers that got the game, they couldn't discuss the beginning of the game, which I will do shortly, and they couldn't discuss the second half of the game, which I'll do shortly. Because I'm not conforming to their rules, they don't have any power over me. And those people, those ones that have to adhere to the rules, that's what you get for being your shill. And for the others, you can choose to buy the game, play the game, and make your own determination. Or you can have video footage sent to you and make a determination through that. So you don't get to say anything, Neil. You don't get to determine what people can say and how they can say it. Shut up. So Schreier responds with, "Hey Neil, this is weirdly personal. Still not sure why you feel the need to go after me multiple times for expressing that I feel an analogy was tacky. Yeah. I sure hope it's not related to my recent reporting on your studio and their crunch and their people leaving and their people not liking the game, whatever. Be well and the best of luck on launch." And then Cory Balrog comes in, but fuck him. So, Cuckman getting exceedingly defensive, desperate to control the narrative, particularly when he can't. And I think I know, well, this is going to be a very basic response, but I think Cuckman isn't as clever as he thinks he is. And this is just a generalization before I go into the spoiler section. But I think Cuckman thinks that he has created this incredible masterpiece of storytelling. But really, it's not. I remember watching a Red Letter Media video, where they were making an analogy about, I think it was Michael Bay, and thinking that he was making a fun, serious movie. But really, it was like a jock trying to write a poem. And it was like, your tits are round like balloons. I would love to squeeze them. This is kind of how I feel Cuckman is with The Last of Us Part 2. He thinks he's creating this massive masterpiece, but really it's just a petty little revenge story and nothing more. So, that's the first half of the video over. The spoiler-free aspect of the video over. So if you'd like to step out now, because I'm going to deal with the spoiler side of matters, please do hit the like button on the way out, and thank you so much indeed for watching up until now. So as regards to the people who are remaining, let's just leave that up for Muso, shall we? There you go, Muso. So if you are sticking around, then you've watched my leaks video, or you've watched a leaks video, or read the leaks online. So it's really to kind of get some clarification now. Were the leaks correct? The answer is yes. Yes, they were. We now have some clarification, though, about exactly what happens at the end of the game. So first things first, it appears to be worse than we thought with Joel. And one of the criticisms that I've heard of the game was the fact that the characters totally don't behave like the characters of the first game. And Joel seems to be a prime example of that, because it starts off with Joel and you playing as Abby. And Joel saves Abby and her crew from a bunch of clickers. And then you spend the first couple of hours of the game going around with each other, trying to get to safety or whatnot, with Joel saving Abby's life time and again. Him and his brother. They then get to an area where they eventually tell them where their town is and tell them their names. These complete strangers. Tell them their names. Oh, I'm Joel. I'm Joel's brother. I forget what his name is. Pete? I don't know. Don't think so. And so like, oh, Abby's like, oh, right, yeah, sorry. I'm actually off to your town to kill you, so thank you. So she shoots him with a shotgun in the knee and then beats him to death with the golf club. In the first 2 hours of the video game, Joel is a stupid moron. The person from the first game who was slow to trust, that took the whole of the game for him to develop his bond with Ellie, because he was so mortified by the death of his child, Sarah, I think it was, at the start of the first game. He just was just like, yeah, this is where we live. I'm Joel. If you have any problem, even though I'm being hunted down by people because of the end of the first game. I'm just going to tell you exactly who I am and where I live. But I've saved you some time anyway, so you can just smash me over the head till I'm dead with a golf club now. So anyway, Ellie goes out on her revenge spree with her girlfriend and some others. And stuff happens along the way. I'll be general here. And it ends up with, halfway through the game, you taking over as Abby again. Apparently there's lots of flashbacks, lots of little bits with Joel and lots of flashbacks as regards to why people are doing certain things. But it's kind of too late because you get the thing and then you're like, oh, and then they has the flashback as to why they did the thing, but they've already done the thing. So it kind of defeats the object, really. And Abby is female. She's not trans. One of her companions is trans. One of the Asian people. Apparently, her boyfriend is the one that looks like Kneel Cuckman, and Cuckman smash Abby. By the sounds of it, thank God I've missed that cutscene, though. And you take over as Abby halfway through, and you eventually catch up with Ellie, and you have a fight with Ellie. That's where we see her smash Dina's head in, or Dana, whichever one. But she lets them live. She doesn't kill her, she lets them live and says, don't come after me anymore. Ellie and Dina go back to their farm. Ellie can't handle it, so she decides to go back out again in search of Abby. And Dana's just like, no, don't do this. She's like, no, got to do it. So she leaves the farm, leaves Dana and her baby, or her baby-to-be, her pregnantness, to go back out again for more revenge. Gets captured along the way, gets out, all this kind of stuff. And eventually catches up with where Abby is, and Abby's been captured. And she frees Abby, who then frees her little Asian friend. And she's going to let her go. And then she realizes, she has a flashback to Joel's smashed in face. And it's just like, no, I can't let you leave. We're going to have to fight again. But this is a very diminished Abby now, because she's been tied up on a pole for goodness knows how long. She's exhausted, she's weak. So they have a fight, and it's pretty much a quick time event. Abby bites off a couple of Ellie's fingers. Ellie, though, gets the better of Abby, and is about to drown her when she sees again another flashback of Joel on a porch playing the guitar, and it's flashbacks to Joel teaching Ellie how to play the guitar throughout the game. So she lets Abby live and then returns home. And when she returns home, Dana's gone. She's left her because of all this revenge thing. So Ellie picks up her guitar to play her guitar, but she's had her fingers bit off, so she can't play the guitar. How deep. And that is The Last of Us Part 2. So deep, Neil. I like your tits a lot, balloons. I want to squeeze. It's just a petty ass revenge story. Abby gets revenge on Joel. Ellie goes for revenge on Abby. Abby smash Ellie and tell Ellie to piss off. Ellie piss off. Ellie decide not to piss off and go smash Abby. Ellie smash Abby. Ellie let Abby live. Ellie go home. Ellie get no smash from Dana. Dana gone. Dew. It just sounds ridiculous. It sounds boring. There is, from what I can tell from what people have said, you don't have any control over how you behave. So the moral side about you doing terrible things, you're always doing terrible things. Everybody's doing terrible things. You don't have the moral control not to. So the game is forever wagging its finger, saying you're bad, you're doing bad things, but it never gives you the opportunity to do anything but bad things. The depth of Cuckman, people. After that wonderful story in The Last of Us 1, we just get this nonsense. So there we go. That's it, folks. I'm not going to be wasting my time on this game. It can eat a big bag of dicks. So can Cuckman. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.